Now we have to make this look nice too.
Welcome to part 2, where we're going to build the cover for our brown paper book.
Okay, so I have gathered all kinds of bits for my covers. When I was making those Frankenpapers and that Frankenpaper book, this was one extra because I had made a whole strip and then I cut it down, and this was one extra strip piece that was not enough. I didn't have enough to make a whole other page. So this is my inspiration for the cover of this book. However, I was like, oh, I thought it'd be great. I could just use it to cover the book, but it's not big enough either way. So I'm going to try to recreate it. I pulled out bits. This was my washi that I had made. So I might have to add lines if I want that on there. I have this. This was actually Christmas wrapping paper that I made and sold this holiday season. And so I don't have any bits left of that I can find, but I have this because I wanted that hot pink. And then I have these little bits, and this will be my black and white. This will be some neutral. This will be some neutral. This is the funniest paper to me. I made my coffee, tossed the grains on paper and just to see what it would do, expecting lots of this color, but it did this green, and I don't really know why. However, I feel like the green kind of works with my weird mold marble. And then I have this bit too. So this is my inspiration for our cover. And I think I'm just gonna collage right over top of that. I didn't pull vellum. Oh, this is vellum, I guess. We'll see if I need to pull some more vellum. So kind of a wildish busy, I don't know if it's wild, but a busier cover. Actually, I didn't pull gold. So let's see. This is my recently sorted ephemera bin, one of my ephemera bins. Oh, perfect. The exact same gold. Okay. This is from a Christmas cracker crown. And now it's this size. So I kind of have it by size. Ooh, my goodness. Sorry, everyone. Just totally wailed on the camera there. If you haven't seen my other bin, this is my other bin of ephemera, but it's sorted by type, and I've made these little file folders that are great. They're just these little expanding file folders. And I have this kind of ephemera all sorted by type. You can see they're all titled. But when it was all little bits, I didn't, oh, that doesn't go. I didn't want it in here, so I just had that other little box and I sorted them just by size. Okay, so that's bits for my cover. And then for my liner or inside end pages, I found this, which was from a planner calendar from the 90s. And it had all of these textile prints and things like that. And I thought that would be really pretty on the inside cover, either the front, inside, or the back. And I can't decide exactly which. I guess it would have to go this way. So my book will run this way. So it would have to go. I guess it could go that way. Okay, when we get there, I will decide for that. And then there was this print, which was from this really strange book that actually had a lot of imagery I didn't like. It came in a bin from my sister-in-law's classroom, and it was all alphabetical, but the artist had a lot of questionable things. This was all things that start with S, but I really love skulls. So she says after saying there was questionable things. So I thought this would be kind of cool as I mean, the skull's the flower. Oh. Yeah, so I thought that would be kind of neat as the inside cover as well. So first we need some structure. So I pulled out these fabrics, and for the inside support of our spine, like this is fabric here, and the spine piece is sewn to, or is glued to that fabric, and then the covers are glued to that fabric, and then I have strips for the outside as well. So I had these two. I think this is going to be for my outside. Or was this too busy for strips? This might be too busy. Actually, I think not, because I think that would look busier. Either way, we're going to iron them. I have this little felt mat that I got, and I love it, with this baby iron, and it's so cute. And it is perfect for ironing at my desk or work table without having to set up like a whole big space. Don't really need this entire sheet, but I might as well just iron it for now anyway. This has no water in it, so it's not going to be oh, I can spray it. So if you actually want your creases out of your fabric, it needs to be damp when you're ironing it. If you're doing a dry iron expecting to get out the lines of folds, you're going to be a while. So speed it up with a little moisture of water. If you're quilting, I recommend Mary's Best Press. I think it's Mary's Best Press. It's wonderful. Generally, of course, you would just have your water in your iron. Because I'm only doing these two little pieces, this made it easy for me to then just pack my iron back up after it's cooled down and not have to empty it and all that jazz. That's done. Turn that off. Unplug so it can cool down. Set it aside. I'll set this aside. And I'll trim this down. I'm gonna get my rotary cutter. For support of this book, I want my strip to come into the inside cover quite far, about that big. So that's 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches plus my 1.5 inches, and then another 2.5 inches. So 5, 6. We're going to make sure this is 7. Oh my word, this blade is so dull. So dull. Okay, let's try that again. Yikes, can you hear it skipping? What is going on in here? Could just be that I haven't used it, or I used it way too much. Okay. We're not making a quilt, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So, an easy way to measure our width
is going to be lining this up. Okay, and then we want this just slightly under. So I'm gonna do 5 3/4. And for measuring against the board, oh, you can't even see. I'm measuring 5 3/4 down here. And then up here, I'm going to put my ruler also at 5 3/4, which is that little line right there, to be able to cut this piece at 5 3/4 wide. And the same, we're going to cut this at 7. So if my blade was sharp, I wouldn't have to pass that twice, but for quick sake, we'll do it that way. And while we have this out, we'll cut these down. This is 3-inch strip. And I think I also just want them 7. So I'm just going to square off this end. Cut it at 7. And that should be plenty to wrap around the book for the outer support to hold my cover and spine all together. Add that to the stash of little bits. We'll go to the next step. All right, now I'm going to lightly replicate this collage on the cover of my book. So I will likely turn on some music and speed you up a little bit because I'm just tearing paper and gluing it down. I'm going to be using matte medium. I'm going to be using matte medium, gel matte medium to glue all of these down because it's a cover. I want it to be nice and secure. This is just glued with glow sticks because there are pages on the inside of the book that would have had more stuff embellished on them, likely with matte medium because it's my glue of choice. I did also get this. I've used this one before and I really like it. I like how they have like this little fine tip. And then they have this broad tip of glue. And I do like this one. Of course, they were out of it at the store, but they had this one, so I thought I would try this one as well. And it was actually on sale, probably because it's tiny. And this can be create a permanent or a removable bond. However, I'm just not gonna use it for this. I'm gonna use gel matte medium because it's favored, especially for collage. I'm actually gonna find some tissue paper.
One thing I just wanted to note while I'm collaging is I want this to have an overhang of about at least 1/2 inch, because I want my pages to be able to wrap around, and then I'm going to use those other images. So this will be glued down, and then this will be like a nice clean edge piece. So I want to make sure my collage bits are all going to be wide enough or overhang enough while I'm making them. Away. Okay. I'm semi-happy with this. I don't like this area, but I might actually paint on that. And I wish I had a little more behind this. I think that needs a little more support on the corner. I wish I had white paper. Do I? I think this is quite funny that I don't just have simple white paper. Oh, this, I have this. I use cotton filter. This tissue that's under here is so thin. It is not holding up. I'm liking that a bit more. Just going to... Ooh, it's a little soggy still. Cutting soggy tissue, not so easy. All right, you'll notice this is starting to bow a little bit. I'm not too worried. I have put a lot of moisture on one side of the cardboard, and I will eventually put moisture on this side of the cardboard, and they should balance themselves out. Okay. I'm gonna just start by doing a fold over on those. This is still a little damp, but I'm just gonna start going for it anyway. It's so funny because I used to watch videos of other people just going for it, and it would drive me crazy that they wouldn't follow the rules. And here I am, not letting things dry, not following the rules. So I'm sorry if you were like me and I'm driving you crazy. Just going in at it. Also, traditionally for bookbinding, I would be using PVA glue. It's much cheaper than matte medium. But I haven't bought any. And I have a giant jug of it in my storage unit from our move, but that is where it's going to live until we have a house of our own again. Okay. There is another weak spot of tissue, so I'm going to have to do a bit of that to repair. This black paper is quite thick, and so it needs some extra support to want to fold around that corner. Just softening my corners a little bit. I'm sure they'll just do it naturally as they get used, but I want to do it now. Okay, I'm gonna reinforce that a little bit. Okay. be our cover, plus purple strip. Oh, I forgot to cut that in half. Plus a purple strip. I gotta cut that in half. Still. Okay, we're gonna collage the back side now, which I think we'll do a little more simple than the front. Okay, for the back cover, I still want to use some of that craft paper, but I also really liked this. So we're just gonna start. I'm gonna use a few elements that were on my front cover, but less. Oh, I didn't even realize those kind of lined up. Kind of like that. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry and then we'll come in and we'll do the insides. Thanks so much, and I'll be back next Friday with the rest of the book.